Has this been amazing or what? What an amazing, amazing day. What an amazing Power World. Give it up to all the leadership team that has made this possible. I kind of feel like the mic's gonna fall off, but I'll just ignore that. Wow, it's crazy to be here. And it's crazy to be on this stage. I quit my job to be here 1 year ago. I quit my job to go to Power World. At the time, I was working in property management, and I hated my job. Everything was empty. My work, my relationships, and even my sense of self. And when I couldn't get the days off to go to Power World, I made that decision, and it changed my life. And I was so scared because I didn't know what I was walking into. I didn't have any solar experience, no sales experience, and I walked in here not knowing anyone. But I found myself a seat right in the front row. You can probably see me in that picture doing the hey-hays. And I fell in love. I fell in love with Power, and then I started to dream of a better life, that I can actually make a change, that I can create a life that I loved, full of vision and purpose and values. And so I met leaders in this room, leaders like Joel Gossett. And I saw the ribbons on his name badge, and I was like, I would love to do that. And I remember sitting right next to him, and he said, you can be on that stage next year with all those ribbons on your name badge. I met Jonathan Budd, and the vision that I got to see through his eyes made me believe that there's a better way, right? I can do this. I didn't know what I was doing, but I believed that I could do this. And what's wild is to be where I'm at today, because let me tell you, like, I've come a long way. And there's been a lot of talk about resiliency and overcoming challenges. So let me share a little bit of my story. 6 years ago, I was addicted to heroin. I lived in my car, and then when I crashed my car, I was homeless. I was living a life of chaos, and I was hurting everybody in my life, especially my family. My mom didn't know if her own daughter was dead or alive, and she lived years in torturous agony. And to see her sitting in the audience today, amongst all of you, to see my mom sitting here with all of you, I mean, there's no words for that. And this was a big part of my life that I was ashamed of, because I was a shell of a human being. There was no soul there, right? It was a toxic cycle that I just couldn't seem to break. And I didn't want you guys to know that I was once addicted and broken and hopeless. But we all have our challenges in life. And what I realized is the very thing that I was able to overcome gave my life so much meaning, because I've been able to turn around and help the next person get out of addiction. And the value of that, to have a purpose in life, to help people change their lives. I mean, there's nothing like that experience, being just a small catalyst for change. Right? And I realized, like, I was the one that had to pay for my own actions. I was the one that had to suffer my own consequences. And I almost wound up going to prison. And so I was faced with a choice. Do I continue on this toxic cycle on my way to jails, institutions, and death? or do I make a change? And so in 2018, I made that decision to burn the person that I was down to the ground and rise from the ashes a new person. Right? I had to kill that person and become someone different. You never lose until you quit. Right? I don't know what you're going through right now, what's going on in your life, what struggles you may have, what you're telling yourself. Maybe I'm not good enough, or I'm too old, or I'm too young, or I'm not, right? I don't have any sales experience, no background. But what I realize is, like, as long as I don't give up, then there's a chance. There's a chance. And it wasn't easy, but I started to really lean on the mentors, right? I walked in here not knowing anyone, wanting to burn that person down to the ground because there was no purpose in my life a year ago when I walked into Powur World. And so it wasn't easy, but I really leaned on the mentors. I leaned on the leadership in this company. I mean, people like John Bobness poured into me, sending me life-changing books on personal development and wealth, and helped me host lunch and learns at real estate offices. We piloted the Home Depot program together. People like Jason Leach taught me about sizing systems and PV and batteries, and I didn't know how important that was, but coming into NEM 3, it was crucial. And I just kind of added that into the bag of stuff. Well, I got to learn that too, so it's, all new to me anyways. And I learned softwares like Open Solar and all these things that really help develop who I am. Jordan Shaw taught me tools and systems and software, things that made a really fluid business, right? One that can be self-sustaining. And when I told him that I wanted to go on Impact Journey, when I watched that video last year on the Impact Journey, I really wanted to go. And I told Jordan that. And so he actually gave me his bracelet from Impact Journey. And he said that together we can make it happen. The support of the TST team, Zach and Spencer and Mike and Jordan, I mean, there's so many people to name, but being a part of a team, having all of that love and support, the leadership, the team culture, that has absolutely lifted me up, and I wouldn't be standing on this stage if it wasn't for them. If it wasn't for all of you guys loving and supporting me on my way. And so I want to ask you today, like, what is your truth? Right? Are you proud of who you are? Or are you letting yourself slip and get lazy when no one's watching? Are you taking consistent daily actions? Are you where you want to be in your life? Are you adding value to others, right? What is the truth about your life right now? Because I had to take a hard, cold look at my life and realize that I didn't have a whole lot 1 year ago. And so that set me on a trajectory, on a path where I was committed and driven with a fire that I've never experienced before. A vision that Jonathan Budd put together and I just fell in love with. And I got into action. I started to host lunch and learns. I set up a table at Gold's Gym. I cold called contractors. I got into my phone book. I got into action every single day. And I faced a lot of rejection. I hit the doors, and I got doors slammed in my face. I mean, it's crazy to look back and think, for someone that struggled so much to just keep going, I can't explain it any more than just having that vision, that knowing, the resiliency to not give up. Right? I was done living a life of no purpose. I wanted the freedom and flexibility. I wanted to control my own hours, to control my schedule. I wanted to do the things that I love, like scuba diving with sharks and going snowboarding and riding motorcycles. Like, there's a lot of stuff that I love to do, and I couldn't do that in a full-time job where I'm working 40 hours a week for somebody else, right? Someone else is dictating how much I'm worth on an hourly basis, and I was not okay with that anymore. I wanted to take control of my life. I wanted to love my life, wake up happy. And I found that mission bigger than myself, and it has absolutely changed everything. And my desire to change was so much stronger than my desire to quit. Underneath it all, it's a deep why, right? Why am I doing what I'm doing today? Waking up at, crazy 4:30 in the morning, working all day, and sponsoring others at night, right? Giving back to my recovery community. You have to have a deep why, right? I've mentioned that my mom's sitting right here in the front row. I never want to go back to that place where I used to be. I never want to be that person again. And today I get to be here with my mom, and she's watching me stand on stage, share my story with all of you, and I get to be the daughter that she deserves. So what's your why? Is it your future? Do you want freedom? Do you want to make an impact? Right? What is it that's driving you? Because the clarity of that is going to help you through the hard times. This year, I didn't know it was going to be the hardest year in the solar industry. It was just my first time in sales. So I thought, it's just hard anyways. Well, if I can make it through this year, I think I can make it through any other year, right? If you can make it through this year, you can make it through any year. Right? Nothing can stop you. Nothing can stop you. Don't let this moment slip by. No one's going to save you. Right? I'm responsible for my own life. I'm responsible for my own actions. And so are you. Right? So what will you do to help keep yourself moving through the hard times? For me, it's having that purpose, right? I've been able to take this platform, this incredible platform here, and I've been able to pour that back into my recovery community, right? I'm going back to the treatment centers and the sober livings that gave me a life, and I'm able to offer them solar and help them reduce their overhead by 30% so they have more money towards scholarships. They have more money towards resources. They have more money for recovery programs. They can help more people. And that's all possible because of Powur. There's a team of people here to help you. There's leadership here to help you. There's a platform here to support you, right? Like everything is laid at your feet. It's just a matter of picking up the tools and doing something with it. So trust me, if I can go from homeless and addicted and almost dead to where I'm at today, like trust me, you can do anything. You can do it too. So I just want to take a minute to thank you all. Right? You have become my family. You have become the people that I look up to, that I admire, that I want to be around, that I see my future with, right? You have become my tribe. And I'm just my heart is so filled up by all of you, and I cannot thank you enough for the life that I get to live today. Because I look in the mirror and I love who I am today, right? I'm a hard freaking worker. I bust my ass. And I also know that I don't know everything. I lean into Powur. I lean into you guys. You're the ones that lift me up. And I wouldn't be able to do any of it without you all. And so I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for your love, for your support, for your encouragement, because I have found my home here with Powur, and I'm so excited. So what are you going to do when you leave here, right? Are you going to sign up that ambassador? Are you going to host that event? What are you going to do when you leave here? Commit to that. Because next year at Powur World, I promise you can be on this stage too. If you don't give up, you can ascend from whatever life throws at you, right? Burn yourself to the ground like like a phoenix that rises from the ashes and create a new you. Ascend, because that's what's possible here. It's a whole new life available to each and every one of you. Now let's go out there and build something that matters.